Who would say you are a young professional and you may not have enough experience to go through APC? Join us in Patch with our certified and chartered quantity surveyor, Engineer Jeffrey Abana, as he shares his own APC journey. His story awaits and will be revealed live this Saturday, 22nd May, 3 p.m. Manila time. See you!
Okay, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. I am Arlene Joy Paredes, or AJ, current president of PICQS Singapore chapter, and I'm excited to be one of your hosts again for this fourth session of Patch. Okay, so Patch is PICQS APC Talks channel, and we aim to provide you the overviews about the chartered and certified professionals APC journey, structured training of PICQS, and every quantity surveyor's road to becoming QS professionals to maximize their career potential. So, for those who are not so familiar with the PICQS, Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors is an all Filipino QS organization with a global reach. So, in a span of 10 years or nearly a decade, PICQS has formed 12 chapters around the globe in Philippines, UK, UAE, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, KSA, North America, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, and our most recent form chapter, BIM Indochina. So our members are mostly QS trained engineers, architects, and other allied professions practicing the quantity surveying globally, and we have structured trainings to patch up the required competencies towards exponential career growth. Okay, so for this afternoon, I would like to introduce to you my co-host, which is who is a PICQS P3T Global Committee, and she is a member or currently employed with Arcadis GEC Manila, and she's handling UK projects. Without further ado, I would like to call in Miss Divine Glino. Hi, Divine.
Hi, AJ. Thank you for that great introduction. I'm really happy to be here as your co host. Good day to you and to all our members from our 12 strong chapters and viewers around the globe. I'm very excited for this session.
I'm also very excited. And how is it there in the Philippines now?
Currently, we're still on our GCQ, so we're restricted to go out and we're working from home. We are using our digital platforms to communicate with our colleagues around the globe and within the Philippines.
Oh, that's great to hear. So with this pandemic and everything, the digitalization is like the silver lining of pandemic, wherein we can
Yes.
be reached by everybody, our colleagues, whether in the Philippines or abroad. No, so
Yeah.
it's good to hear that you're doing well in the Philippines and that hopefully you've also had the schedule for vaccine and keep safe. No, but I'm really excited
Thank
this
you.
afternoon that we're gonna have somebody from the MENA region or from UAE, Abu Dhabi to be exact. And let's hear about his APC journey. And he's a young professional like us. With young professional, I mean 40 below, although I don't look the part. But so why don't you do the honor in introducing our guest speaker?
Thanks, AJ. So, a millennial himself, he's 14 years of experience involved working for a developer here in the Philippines, experiences in the construction life in Bahrain, prior to his case study project, which is a government and tourist complex, which is nominated by the World Travel Awards as the Middle East's leading cultural tourist attraction in 2020. He is now currently involved in the works of high-rise residential towers in Abu Dhabi. His expertise involves cost control and cost management, and currently is involved in cost management of waterfront project in Abu Dhabi, UAE. He has been living the pay it forward phrase by rendering volunteering works as PSQS trainer for P3T and GAMP.
Wow.
He's also a PICQS mentor for APC candidates and RICS counselor, where he even received a commendation of being the PICQS Mentor of the Year. Let
Wow.
us all, well, that was in 2019. Let us all welcome, all the way from the capital of United Arab Emirates, Engineer Jeffrey Abana.
Okay, hello there, Jeffrey. How are you?
Hello, thank you, Divine and AJ, for inviting me here in Patch. It's an honor really to be part of this Patch program. I think it's a really good idea to share our experience through this platform, especially this time of the pandemic. We have been given an opportunity to collaborate wherever we are in the world, even though we have different time zone.
Yes, indeed. Now it currently is like 11 a.m. there.
It's 11 a.m. Yeah, I just had my
Here.
breakfast a while ago.
Oh, okay, that's great. Oh, hope Divine, you've already had your lunch by this time.
Yes, yes.
So we can have a tea break together. Okay, thank you very much, Jeffrey. This is really an honor to have you in Patch with your exemplary APC experience, and would like to know more about it and discuss more about it. So why don't we move to the first Patch session? And this is our next segment. Oh, by the way, speaking of the experience that you've had, I hope that you have already had your vaccines there in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, we already had vaccinated. We have a little more freedom than last year, even though there's still more cases, but it's going down. So
Mhm.
hopefully by July, everything will be back to normal here in Abu Dhabi.
I hope so too. So we can all visit Philippines and see Divine there. Okay, so in your
Yes.
preparation for APC, you went through the professional experience route, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
what moved you to take APC?
Actually, I was encouraged to take APC when my colleague, which is a lady QS from Africa, was being mentored by my boss, a British national. She was enrolled in APC and was recently joined our company when she approached my boss to be her new counselor. Actually, when he enrolled in APC, already had his master's degree in QS. And when the time that he approached my boss told me, "Why not try APC? You should enroll in APC." He said that, "I believe you are confident enough, even though you don't have a degree in quantity surveying. He believed that I can pass through the APC using the professional experience route," which is really an unbelievable compliment from my boss during that time.
So he
You
saw the potential in you, right, Divine?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned you that your boss specifically states that you didn't have your QS degree, and still he supports you. How does that feel, and how was your confidence level back then, given that your colleague has her master's degree in QS and you don't?
Yeah, actually, I actually very hesitant. I hesitant at first because I only gain my knowledge in quantity surveying through my experience. But when my colleague passed the APC and he gained his RICS chartered status, I realized there are really more to gain and nothing to lose situation for me. Imagine I have a perfect position to pass the APC since my boss, my mentor and counselor will be very supportive of my journey. I will have a good project to gain level 3 experience. And during that time, my boss already are giving me some level 3 experience. So actually, it will be a once in a lifetime opportunity career wise, in my opinion, during that time, because during the time when I enrolled in APC, what I remember is that there are only 16 Filipino chartered quantity surveyor under the PICQS organization.
Okay, that was great to hear. And you've mentioned about PICQS. Then the next question will be there you go. So, what was PICQS role in your APC journey? I think your APC journey is exemplary. Being you only took the the first structured training, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. I only took P3T during that time
Wow.
before I sit on my preliminary is in and final interview.
Okay. So how was it? How was the P3T at that time? P3T is only about 24 hours, right?
Yes, correct. Actually, P3T, it is very beneficial. Okay. Especially that I don't have my QS degree. I need to do a lot of readings. And P3T is actually the level 1 competency in RACS APC already. So when I took the P3T, I gained a lot of knowledge that I need for my APC requirements. So it's very helpful for me. If I didn't take P3T, I don't think I will pass the APC.
Wow.
Your own reading, it will not be that beneficial. You should have at least structured training, in my opinion, especially during that time. But I don't have any choice. I already enrolled, and I need to took my chance and send my SOE and even my case study during that time. Even during I'm doing my summary of experience, even at the same time as doing my P3T studies. Imagine that. That's how strict my schedule is during that time.
I can imagine. You are like hitting two birds with one stone. So, who introduced to you PICQS?
Actually, I was already enrolled before I know about PICQS. I was looking for some organization that will help me and will guide me through the process, because when I enrolled, I only know it from the perspective of my boss and my colleagues. So a friend of mine who's already a member of PICQS during that time introduced me, and he told me this group of QS professional, Filipino QS professional, was doing trainings for QS professionals, doing some CPDs. And the first thing that I really need during that time is to get 48 hours minimum of CPDs, which is very hard to get because that time there's not much a lot of organization giving CPDs, and some are even very expensive.
Okay. Go ahead,
So
Divine.
yeah, I just wanted to ask, and I'm wondering. You mentioned that you got your CPD hours from other related topics to your SOEs. So I'm wondering, what was the most challenging competency you encountered when you were writing your statement of experience?
Well, the one that is really challenging for me are the one that I'm not very familiar with. Okay,
Mhm.
because remember in the RACS APC, you have in the technical competencies you have six, and you need to add
Yeah.
two optionals. Okay, and during that time there will be for QS Path there will be three other that you will choose. I
Mm-mm.
There's contract admin which I choose, which I'm familiar, so I have no problem. Then there's two others which is commercial management and due diligence.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Commercial management, I never been involved in contracting, so it's not possible for me to use it. The only option is due diligence. And during that time, I'm not that familiar if I really had the competencies for due diligence. So what I did, I did some research about it, and actually, I sorted out that yeah, due diligence is generally part of QS profession, and even though I'm in the consultancy side, I have that experience. I just need to dig it for myself. Where did I gain that experience? That's the challenge, really. But
Yeah,
all the others are also hard for me. But since this one is not familiar, it's harder than the others.
agree.
Right.
There are 18 competencies currently that we need to, provide levels 1 to 3 level of experience, right? When
Yes,
as
yes.
we write our statement of experience.
Mm,
So what you found, which is very challenging on your end, was the due diligence part. So
yes.
how did you overcome it? I mean,
Well, actually, I asked a lot of friends how did they do the write up if they have that one. And also my boss itself, he told me that yeah, you gained that experience definitely. You just need to search what's the meaning of due diligence in a QS profession. And I found out that this is actually just part of checking before going through some process, like maybe pre-qualifications of your contractors before tendering,
mhm,
and
Yes.
checking or benchmarking something, you know. So it's actually just doing some background checking on certain things before you do your decisions, which is
mm,
I think that's really part of my job
Mm.
during that time. So I'm confident enough, and I write it down. Also, the other technical competencies, since it's level three, the hardest part is to get the level three competencies, which is when I was lacking, my boss helped me to gain that by giving me some level three task in my job. I'm a senior quantity surveyor already during that time, but since we are a big project, some tasks will be limited. So he's specifically giving me tasks that is related to my competency, which is really beneficial for me. And I think that's how a counselor should be when you are giving some task to be a counselor or mentoring your colleague or your subordinates on your company.
mhm. Divine, do you already have a counselor?
Yes, I have.
I thought
Uh,
we're looking at him. So you already have your counselor for your APC.
yes, I already have. Um, he's also my boss.
Oh, that's great. It's nice. It's the perks of having your boss as your counselor, because if you lack competence on a certain aspect, then they would be able to help you achieve that. If you say, I actually don't have enough confidence to write my SOE on basic accounting principles, so how could you advise? How could you give me an advice on that? And then he would like give you some lectures, some pointers, or even give you links on where to enroll and what to do, or and take this to fill the gaps of the competencies that are needed. And I would like to say hi to my counselor, Sir John Chavez. I'm going to
Yes,
write
it's
my
very. We can see with Jeff's journey. It's really important that you have the support of your superior, your boss, and those around you, the organization as well.
Agree. So congratulations for that, ano, Jeff. You had like the full force behind you. It's like may the force be with you, and everybody is went to you and then gave you all the help that you needed to fulfill that in a very short span of time. So the mode of submission at that time was it already ARC online or
No,
still?
it is not. Yeah,
Oh,
it is
okay.
through email. So all you need they will what will happen is that they will give you the format. You will write it up and do a presentation on your PDF, okay, PDF format, and submit it via email to APC. You actually need to call them to confirm if they receive, because if if not, you might lose it. So it's during the deadline. You are very tight. There's a very tight schedule regarding
Wow. Okay, I can
ARC.
imagine.
I think you can submit one by one, so it's
Yes,
better today than previously.
like one by one, your counselor can check
In
whether you
fact,
will
yeah.
have comments on your SOE. You just need to have like an Excel sheet to write down how many words have you spent in writing this certain competency, because we have the word limit, right?
Yes, you have the word limit.
So
Actually,
you
previously, it's the word limit is not that bad. It's a little shorter. Now I think it's longer.
oh, okay. So
More words.
why don't we take a look at the highlights of your APC journey? by sharing with them this timetable of on how you have acquired your MRCS status and your MPICQS. So here's the timeline of Jeffrey Abana's APC journey. Okay. So come 2014 August, you enrolled in APC, and you were advised by your direct supervisor or your mentor at that time. And then 2015 March to May, you became PICQS member and you joined PICQS P3T batch 4 in UAE. And then
Yeah,
during this time, the structured training, the P3T addressed level 1 competencies through lectures with a total of 24 hours formal CPD training, right?
correct. Yeah.
Okay. And then 2015, same year, come April, you already submitted your APC preliminary assessment submission. After completion of writing your statement of experiences and completing the required CPD hours, you have proceeded with the submission of your APC preliminary assessment. And on the
Yeah.
same year, May, you received the APC preliminary assessment result and it was accepted. So were there recommendations for some revision?
Yes, there are actually some recommendation. Some level three, they are saying that it's on the borderline. So you need to
Borderline.
revise it. Like they are not that sure, but they think it's enough already to pass it. So during that time, I needs a little bit more revisions. I takes a little bit more CPDs, and I prepared the final assessment after I did all those recommendations by then.
I see. So after the resubmission, there was a confirmation on appointment and then the mock interview followed. So it was in June 2015, and a month after. So your pacing was really fast. It was like the momentum was there and you've been doing it all throughout, until the whole
Yes,
2015.
yes, I don't want to lose it. That's the thing.
Uh-huh.
As the saying goes, you need to strike it when the iron was hot, and that's
Wow.
what happened to me.
Okay.
I need to do it, so I made some extra effort, especially on the preparations after I received my acceptance on my final assessment submission, and they say that I need to sit on the final interview come November. I already prepared. The best things to do is collect all the informations that I had. One is uh, the readings that I need to do, especially with relates to contracts, PDIC, all those terminologies in quantity surveying, because I'm a civil engineer. I'm not a quantity surveyor by graduation. So I need to study more, do readings, and do a lot of mock interviews. But my mock interview was very limited during that time. And
Okay,
for
go.
mock interview, I need to give some extra effort for that one as well.
I believe so. I mean, the timeline itself is already a challenge. And then
Yes.
from June, you have like 5 months to prepare for your final interview. And then what happened? Come August, you have your mock interview. And then how was it?
Yeah, actually, I asked if I can have a mock, but I'm not enrolled in PAP 2 during that time. I think they already finished PAP 2 during that time. So I'm not sure, but I think it is Ma'am Julie. I asked for a favor if I can have mock interview, and he referred me to Miss Lilian Giron. He
Uh-huh.
called me and said, If you can come into my house in Dubai, we can do our mock interview,
Wow.
sample mock interview." So I traveled 2 hours from Abu Dhabi to Dubai to do a one-on-one mock interview with Miss Lilian Giron during that time, which is really helpful for me because during that time I'm preparing my presentation slides. So I don't have experience yet on how to present it. And I think that's the first time I did my presentation slides. and I don't even have the flip chart. So I borrowed the flip chart from PICQS because they already had some flip charts on A3 size paper. Remember
Wow.
that at that time, the APC presentation is a little bit primitive. You have a flip chart, hard copy flip chart. You need to flip it one by one to do your case study presentation, and PICQS helped me a lot on that time.
I guess nowadays they already use digital tools and platforms for the interview, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So now we have a digital platform when we
Yeah.
sit. Okay. So during during the 2015 August, Jeffrey, you traveled all the way from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, and it is very you're very blessed to have Miss Lillian Geron to do this one-on-one mock interview with you. She is currently our PICQS Global APC head. Okay, so it's
Yes. Yes.
kudos to Ma'am Lillian. Hi, Ma'am Lillian, and thank you, Chair Julie. They're really very supportive, no?
Yeah. I
So I
owe some of my RACS journey to them, definitely.
agree. And I think Divine, you'd be very fortunate. By the time that you need the mock interview, you can just call on Chair Julie and then she will give you a one-on-one.
Yeah, hopefully. Mom
Okay, so
Lillian, I
oh yeah,
also
go ahead.
encountered Mom Lillian, and she's very supportive, even if it's the resources. She provides resources for every member of the PSCQS. So she's
Okay.
really
Actually, not
supportive.
Miss Lillian and Chair Julie are just two of the few. No, I think
Yeah.
majority of PICQS heads and members are, very approachable. And if ever you need anything related to APC, they would really be very supportive because in the first place, that's the goal and objective of PICQS to be able to
Correct.
reach out to the Filipino QS who would like to become chartered or certified professionals. And yes, we are very fortunate, and we need to take that chance. Okay, so go moving on and continuing with the Jeffrey's timeline. So in 2015, you had this. So apart from the mock interview with Miss Lillian, you even had a grand mock with PICQS. So tell us about it.
Well, actually, we are three candidates who gonna sit for PICQS. So we are three PICQS member who will sit in APC for RICS, Chartered Quantity Surveyor interview. I remember it's Lani Satuito and I forgot the other guy. So basically, we undergo Grand Mac, which is almost the actual. So it's like really the pressure was there. You will feel the pressure because we are in a hotel, same as what we are doing in RCS. We will be in a hotel. There will be a three panels. You will present it as if you are presenting it in RICS formally, and they will have a strict timeline also. Only 60 minutes, 1 hour to do the whole interview. And really, Chair Julie, Ma'am Julian, and Sir Seprado was very helpful, especially after the interview. So after the 60 minutes interview, they give their feedback on the interview. How was your confidence level? How did you answer the questions? If you have some mistake, they will note it that you had a mistake, and they will give you some suggestions on how to tackle when you got mental block, when you don't know the answer, and how to confidently answer without making some errors. Okay, because in APC, the biggest problem is you say something that you are not sure, but you say it anyhow, it will be a no-no in APC interview. So it's really helpful. The Grand Mac was very beneficial, and I think if I didn't do the Grand Mac, I would not have passed the APC.
Wow. So it was a really tough mock interviews consecutive in consecutive months. And then after that, how was your confidence level then? mean, after all those mock interviews and then doing the structured training, it's like a fast track, to APC. What you did?
Actually, I don't think I have that much confidence on my APC journey. I will not recommend it. I was just very fortunate that things fall into places, and really, this shortened timeline of getting the final interview is really, you need to put maybe twice the effort when you do structured training. Structured training, it is like extended time for you to prepare. So I still recommend structured training. This one is a very special case. I actually had some sleepless nights doing the interviews, preparing for this final interviews. I do some extra effort to put my reviewers on my own, even though I get some reviewers as well from PICQS. That would be very helpful. But I put some extra effort. I do some research, write up, all those kind of things. So, in my opinion, it's still best to don't do it too fast. Do it by a structured training,
Uh-huh.
because that will help you gain the enough knowledge to pass the APC. But if you had the determination, you can do it. Why not? I don't think I'm in the position to stop you. I did it, so I think everyone can do it. But as I told you, you need very, very extra effort to pass the APC.
especially if especially if you have a counselor like yours who is your boss as well.
Yeah. Actually, my boss, they also give me some mock interview, but it's very limited. It's like one mock only we did with my boss. But he said this is enough. It's up to you to pass. Because actually the APC process, even though you did a lot of preparation, if you are like if you don't have the courage to face the final assessor, it will be very tough. Because definitely you should prepare your heart, okay, to the interview. You need to face them as if you're going to a job interview, like it's actually a job interview. So it's the same thing. So you need to be very confident, be prepared, and during that time, if you have some doubts about yourself, definitely you will fail. I think that's all that matters. You need to believe that you can pass. If you don't believe it will not work out for you, I think.
So you need to attract the positivity
Yes.
and claim it. At the time you
Yes.
claimed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Honestly, during the interview, I will tell you, during the interview, I didn't sleep well because I'm very worried about it. But at the end of the day, you need to pray and then let it go. You know, pass or fail, just do it. That's it.
okay, but come after September, you had like 1 month before your final interview. So what were you doing then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to prepare a lot of review, okay, especially related to the QS terms,
The
because
competencies.
yeah, for all the competencies, because most of the time these people they're also busy, so they will not ask you too much hard question, but mostly related only to what you already know. Okay, but make sure that spot on, you know the words, you know the keywords that they're looking for, and that's what I prepared for. Uh, I try to be familiar with all the situation that they will ask me level 2 or level 3 questions, but also all the knowledge of level 1, that's the very basic that you should achieve. So I also prepare a lot, do some, like I think one thing that helped me during that time is I memorize some of the terms. Like I make some short definitions on the term, so that at least in my mind I know what I'm gonna say during the interview. Because the biggest problems with a lot of candidates is that they try to think it out, okay, by their own words, but they keep on making long statement that sometimes very prone to mistakes. So I avoided that by using short sentences when I do answer my APC interviewer.
So it's like less talk, less mistakes.
Yes, let's talk. Let's correct. Like it's
And
a
Okay.
fast
it's
talk. Fast talk is better than very long talk. They will gain more question in their mind. Oh, I can ask more question to this guy regarding this.
Oh
yeah.
yes, that's very great to hear. And we've done the timeline. I think it's a very appreciative, way of looking into things. I mean, while we plan for our own EPC, I think it's also best that we write our own timeline. I'm talking to myself here, and talking to you as well, Divine. I think we need to provide the timeline and the deadline for ourselves, as what
Yes.
Jeffrey did to as he took and planned his APC. Okay, so meanwhile, as we take a break, I would like to share with you that in a while, Jeffrey here is going to present his own case study, the very presentation slides that he used during the time of his final assessment interview. But before that, as PICQS holds its 10th year anniversary, and as we host the PAQS 2021, here's a word from our sponsors.
RIB Software is a pioneering enterprise committed to driving innovation and technological advances in the construction and real estate industries. I2 CostX by RIB is being used in over 90 countries around the world, and it is a complete estimating solution with 2D takeoff, 5D beam support, integrated workbooks, and customizable reports, all in one program. Become faster, smarter, and more accurate today with I2 CostX. As Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors, the PICQS, hosts the PAQS 2021 Congress, we are inviting you to join the digital photo contest and get a chance to win up to $1,000 by submitting your entries. Subteam Mobility, Digitalization, and Sustainability are open to receive your entries within the date specified, and presentation of the awards will be on 14th to 15th November 2021. Visit the official Facebook page PAQS Congress 2021 Community, upload your photo entries with your caption and hashtags PAQS 2021 plus subteam, and start sharing. Special thanks to our sponsor for the prizes, Engineer Julie Christie M. De La Cruz, chair and founder of PICQS. Congratulations to the winners of $100 for Subteam Mobility. Photo entry number 11, Justoni Quizon. Photo entry number 16, Kasun Gunasekara. Photo entry number 21, Rusty Pañares. Congratulations and thank you. See you in PAQS 2021. PICQS would like to thank Philippine Constructors Association Incorporated, or PCA, for being PICQS supporting affiliate partner in hosting the Pacific Association of Quantity Surveyors, or PAQS 2021 Congress. More than 70 years after it was established, PCA is a partner for nation building, a leading exemplar for the industry here and abroad, a catalyst for change, and an organization that embodies excellence and knows that prestige comes with performance. Thank you, PCA, and see you in PAQS 2021 Congress.
And we're back. Ayan. Thank you very much, PCA, for being our affiliated partner. And we are all inviting you to partake and register to PAQS 2021 Congress, which is happening this November 14 and 15, 2021. Ayan. So how is it going so far, Jeff? Are you
Yeah, it's good.
prepared now to present your um, case study presentation as how you have delivered it during your final assessment interview.
Okay, before I present my APC case study presentation, I just want to say that this happens like more than 6 years ago or 6 years ago. So I'm doing it as I remember it. Okay. And during that time, it is a little bit different. It's not digital, so the way we present, it's harder during that time because we don't have this digital platform, and the presentation slides are very primitive. So you should you should think it that it should be better when you present your own APC than the one that I did. Okay.
And we can imagine the adrenaline rush back then was different than now.
Yes, correct. It will be a lot harder during,
During face to
during
face, indeed.
now you are facing camera. I think when you're doing APC, which is better, not facing a three panel on face to face. But it will be back to normal soon. Okay. Now I
Agree.
will share my slides. Can I share my slides now?
Sure, go ahead.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, that's the reason why in our video cover for your final case study, I have this dome because that is part of his case study, his project in Abu Dhabi.
Okay. I'll start now with my presentation of my APC case study, which is entitled "Dome Construction Cost Management." Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this presentation is about 10 minutes when I did my presentation, and it's actually focused on one key issue. I have two key issues when I presented my case study. It's the first key issue is provisional sum budget overrun. The second one, which I will not present, it's about materials on site. Yeah.
Materials offsite.
Materials offsite, sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my talk compromise of the following format. So the first one is I will introduce the aims and objectives for my presentation. The next one, I will highlight the project background and objective. And my talk will be based on selecting amicable solution for provisional sum budget overrun. And the third one, I will close it by summarizing the experience that I gained during my case study presentation. Okay. My aim this afternoon is to discuss the decisions taken for selecting a best fit solution in the provisional sum budget overrun outlined in my case study. My solutions are to highlight the options I considered regarding suitable solutions for provisional sum budget overrun, run through reasons for rejecting certain options, and then finish it with thoughts supporting the recommendations given to the client. So basically, project background, when the first building was constructed, it's a shell and core package. It was tendered. The intended design was not known for the dome finishes. Therefore, a two-stage traditional procurement was implemented. The shell structure was part of the dome was included in the lump sum, which is structural steel and concrete dome because the design was completed during that time. However, an allowance in the form of provisional sum for dome finishes and other related work was estimated and included in the contract sum to cover the anticipated costs for the dome finishes to be constructed by a nominated specialist dome contractor. After the dome finishes proposal, which was based on the client's preferred design and material preference, was presented by the architect, I provided the cost estimate to advise the client on the anticipated cost. However, it did not come within the provisional sum budget allocation. The clients the objectives of these stakeholders was as follows. Okay, for the client, he requires a highly artistic domes that would be monumental and would be significant landmark in the Arab Islamic dome architecture, but with a sensible cost. The objective for the designer is to minimize the risk where the design and construction timetable will be affected the project completion. The designer also concerned about the buildability to avoid the complexity, installation, and maintenance of the elements of the dome. The line invariably calls for some compromise or conscious balance of this objective. As I told you, the criteria that we will use is the aesthetic design requirement, budget, and time. So that's the one that we will be considering when we're doing the options. So the first options for the provision of some budget overrun is that we will do value engineering, which is redesigning the dome to match the provision of some budget. The proposal was involved in redesigning the whole dome structure. The structural steel beam would be changed to GRC with framing support. The dome finishes pattern could be simplified to reduce the amount of gold glass mosaic tiles requirement. There was advantage for this because substantial saving will be used for redesigning the whole dome structure, and the construction cost will be within the provisional sum budget. However, there will be a concern regarding the quality of the dome and also the time period for the dome, because it will be a lot longer to do the design for this one, which the client want to avoid, because there's a risk that the design could result in the extension of time claimed by the main contractor. Moving on to the second option, it's the proposed additional budget allocation to the client change. So what will happen is we would stick to the original proposal, which is a combination of dome design finishes with composite gold patterns and glass mosaic tiles, and also LED lighting system that will align to the dome patterns. The advantage of this one will be it's actually grandiose in aesthetic design requirement. It will be monumental, really, if it will be achieved. However, and the overall time period will be within the project budget, project program also. However, the clients need to allocate a substantial amount of budget, there will be a significant cost increase in the provisional sum budget, even though the artistic dome design for color changing and gold patterns would be very good aesthetically. It would be very complex in installation, and also it would be maybe problems on the maintenance side. The third option, which is the combined solution approach, wherein a value engineering exercise would be explored without affecting the aesthetic requirement, and the propose a reasonable increase in the budget allocation for the remainder of the cost overrun. So basically, the proposal is to redesign the artistic dome. Instead of entirely using 24-karat gold, we will mix it with glass mosaic tiles with golden color only. It also needs to redesign the dome external lighting. Instead of LED strips around the dome pattern, we will just do floodlights on the bottom floor of the dome. It will give a lighting effect for the dome. This was advantageous with a higher than normal quality will still be achieved within the client expectation, and the overall period of design and construction will be within the program. However, there will still be a cost overrun that will be slightly above the provisional sum budget, which still needs client approval. Okay, we didn't recommend adopting the first two options for the following reasons. So value engineering, it was not recommended since the quality and time has much priority for the client. And the aesthetic requirement will not be achieved in value engineering. Generally, this option has the longest overall design construction period, which may result in the extension of time claimed by the contractor. The second option, which is the additional budget allocation, was also not recommended because a very significant cost overrun in the provision of some budget would not be acceptable, and it will affect the overall project budget. The complexity in installing color-changing LED lighting system within the dome mosaic tiles also pose a significant risk in the specialist contractors. Therefore, we would result in higher quoted price. We thus recommend selecting the third options, which was combined solution. The primary consideration is quality and time has been achieved, and a reasonable increase in provision sum budget was acceptable and would have no significant impact on the overall project budget. Client would avoid risk and time slippage to delay in the design development of the dome since no redesign is required. Client would avoid risk posed by complexity in installing color-changing LED lighting system within the dome mosaic tile pieces. Finally, in summation, I would say that by addressing the key issues, I have noted a effective cost management of a provisional sum like the dome finishes requires a proactive approach. This includes awareness of the client needs and consideration of the best suit options for their requirements. Thus, I regularly update the cost reports and updated the client's anticipated provisional sum expenditures. It is a consideration of the options which is vital in developing, agreeing, and achieving a solution that is best suits the project and the client needs. From a professional aspect, I have endeavored to interpret client's expectation, maintain contact with the client, and through constant consultation within the design team, we have provided early warning and advice at appropriate time. Lastly, I ensured that communication was maintained to all parties involved throughout the project. For the project to succeed its objective, teamwork and good communication between stakeholders is a must. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening. I'm now ready for your questions if there is any.
Yes, we have a lot. Sorry, AJ, you're on mute.
That was well delivered, Jeffrey. I was really into my feet and exclaiming that is how you deliver 10-minute case study presentation. It's like the whole project you combine it into your a few number of slides, and you have to be able to express how your key issues have been key issues in the first place. So it was challenging, right?
Yeah, it's challenging, especially when I'm preparing the slides. Okay, at first I prepare a lot of words on my slides. My boss told me, no, don't put a lot of words there, because I'm afraid if I don't put a lot of words, I might forget a lot of things. What he told me is you prepare your speech, memorize your speech, and you deliver it. Okay? Just put bullet points on terms. They actually give me a like all the what you call this options that I will provided. It should not be longer than 4 words. He said it cannot be longer than 4 words. In my case study, it is like one sentence. So you said since it should be visible because it's a flip chart A3 size, you need to make it bold letters, big letters, and make the words very minimum so that it can be readable by the interviewers, or else it will be
Okay.
hard for them to see your slides. But
To
the
give
disadvantage is you don't have much to say. You need to memorize it yourself.
So you were saying like during our casual talks, you were mentioning about the flip chart behind it will be your spills or your
Yes,
script
Yes,
correct,
or
keyboard.
your
correct.
like
Keywords.
But it should be very small because they will see it. It should be very, just in case you forgot something. You put something like that.
okay.
It's like a
But
cheat sheet, but it's not really cheating, really.
you still need to know everything like at the back of your hand to be
Yes,
able to
correct.
share about it. So to give our viewers an overview what transpires during the mock interview, let us have these few photos which was shared um, which was sent to me by Chair Julie herself just a few seconds ago. So I think you would know who this is.
I think that's Sir Chavez, John
Yes, it's
Chavez.
Sir John Chavez. And in the next photo, I think you would be able to recognize the flip chart that you were talking about.
Talking about, yes.
Yeah, that's Sir Joseph
Yes,
Magramo.
that's Sir Joseph Magramo. That's Ma'am Lillian and Chair Julie herself. And this was Miss Lillian's residence, is it? That's
I
Miss
am
Lilian's
I'm not
residence.
really sure because I think they are like way beyond me. I think
Yeah. So this
they
is
are already RCS when I joined RPSCQS.
mm, so this is how they do the mock interviews at a dining table. So regardless on how, how primitive it was or how it was being done with all the flip charts and the sacrifices have paid off, how that's how dedicated PICQS was in achieving its objective and providing the aid to our members to become chartered professionals. And I think Jeff has a good testimony to prove that how
Yeah,
everything transpired.
actually,
Wow.
the one who did my back is Ma'am Julie, Ma'am Lilian, and the first one on your slide, the one doing uh, John Chavez, is actually
Uh-huh.
Sir Seprado.
Mr. Seprado, I
Yeah,
think.
that one is Sir Seprado. He's the one who
Okay.
did my Mac also in the Grand Mac last time.
Mm-hmm. So that's how dedicated they are in UAE, and I believe that we will have the same experience once we are already ready to sit and have our own share of the APC mock interview. So at this juncture, why don't we have and hear more about your final. Okay, so hearing about your final assessment interview, Jeff. So how many assessors did you have?
I have three assessors. Okay, the chairman would be a British national, and he has two interviewers, one Indian and one African.
Wow. And this was done in Abu Dhabi or
It was done in Dubai. Actually, what I know is that Ma'am Julie was also an assessor during that time. He was also in the final interview doing his assessor work for being the interviewer
wow,
for a
okay.
different set of maybe nationalities.
And were you nervous when you got your final interview?
Yes, I was very nervous because definitely speaking to these people first time, it will be very hard. I think it's harder than my first job interview. This
Wow.
this
Who
uh,
gave
this this APC journey for final interview was very hard, I think.
among the three of them, who gave you the most challenging question?
Actually, the one who gave me the most challenge is the African guy because I actually don't understand much of his words because of the what you call this, the language that they had. Their English are a bit hard to understand. So what I did also, it helps me a lot because I buy some time, and I hope they understand. I said, "Pardon me, can you repeat the question?" I did it like quite a lot during that interview with this guy, and I'm not saying that um, he's doing bad English. It's just that it's really hard for my ear because I'm not very familiar with it.
With the
But
tone.
in a while, it's helpful because I have a little bit seconds to think about the question.
It's like your alibi, like listening and then
A
thinking at
little
the
only, a little,
same time.
a
For a
little
little.
alibi.
Okay, so let's jump
All
into
right.
the questions that were thrown into you for the APC final interview. And the first one is
Yes.
go Divine.
APC question one. Why have you included as option in your evaluation which you think would have yield a cost overrun for the project?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, basically, during that time, uh, I was actually nervous to answer this question because they might think differently. Okay, but
Mm.
I confidently answer that all the options was up to the client's consideration. You can always consider the most expensive because it will be monumental. It will be more grand. Okay, and the dome for the project was very significant for the entirety of it. Okay, that will be the symbol of the whole complex itself. It will be it you should not compromise the quality, okay, just because you didn't meet the budget. You need
Mhm.
to find the solution that it's best fits with the requirement of the client. And if he wishes a more grand but more pricey items, it's okay.
Yeah.
And how
So
do you
during
think? Yeah, I'm just thinking. Sorry, AJ.
go
How
again.
did you how did you think the panel received that answer from you?
I think they take it in a very nice way. They think I'm confident about my answer because I think what they want to know is that if I'm guessing or if I'm confident about my answer. And when I did that, I think I did it confidently. And I hope that helps me pass the APC during that time. Because definitely they will say, maybe this guy is just guessing. It's a possibility, that some questions you might not answer correctly during APC. So if you're not that confident, they will say that you're not really that clever enough
Mhm.
to answer their question, I think.
So it's like when you share something, you have to share it with conviction.
Yes, correct.
Like, okay, confidence with confidence.
Because the biggest problem there is if you're guessing, they will add more questions to pick it up, and you might make
Mm-hmm.
mistake. But if you did it already very confident, they will not ask more questions. They will answer more questions than this. It's okay.
Okay.
Especially they always saying this. That's okay. Fair enough. That means they already you already proved that you know what you're talking about. So they will not
Mhm.
ask more questions. But if you are very reluctant, this guy I can try to catch him. So he will ask more questions. That's the
Mhm.
problems with a lot of APC candidates when they don't have that confidence to face the panel.
For the project itself, you mentioned on how grand it was. I mean, the dome is made up of the real gold, right? Real 24K
Yes,
gold.
yes. Not the whole thing, but a portion of it. The patterns would have real gold
Uh-huh.
and combinations of golden color mosaic tiles.
Okay.
That would be manufactured in Italy
Mm-hmm.
itself, where it came from, and then it will be the mosaic tiles, the pieces will be shipped to Abu Dhabi, and they will do the patterns in a warehouse factory. They will do a computed aided design of the pattern of the dome and then put it in a flat area, normally in like small pattern tiles format with a drawing, and then they will do it one by one, piece by piece. They put it on the factory.
So
That's
it's
how
that,
intricate the design is.
wow. Oh, everything is like handmade as well.
Yes, it's handmade.
Okay. So you had to ship it all the way from Italy, which begs or which moved you to have your second key issue, and the question was on um, the material of site, right?
Yes. So basically, the mosaic tiles is the item that we have problems because the supplier needs to produce it in Italy, and it will take time for them to deliver it on site because they still need to put it together based on the pattern on their factory here in the warehouse. So there's a problem of paying them materials offsite. It will take time for them to finish it. So the materials offsite was not recommended at first because it's not in the contract. However, the clients allow it because he knows that it needs to be done. So eventually, the agreement was made that we should pay the material offsite.
Wow. So in form of ex gratia, they have allowed to be given, even though it's not part of the contract, or the agreement. They have agreed. The client has agreed to allow for payment of materials offsite as long as the materials are already in their warehouse.
Yes, correct. So the
Okay.
The material should be under warehouse. We will do the inspection on the warehouse. Within the quantification, we will check all the quantities of the delivered materials on their warehouse. All the documentation should be complete before we pay it. And
Mm.
it was done in good faith, and I think everybody was happy when we did that project.
How long was the construction? I mean, the construction of the project.
Well, it started in 2008. I was there involved since the inception, which is the concept planning of this project. I was already involved doing the pre-contract of this project. We do the enabling works, the piling, until the construction of the building. I was there. So actually, it spanned from 2008 to 2015. 2017 the construction. But I was involved on the project until 2020.
Wow.
2020
Wow.
I was involved in the project. Yeah,
Okay. So there were a number of packages for this
yeah
thing to be done.
it's done in stages. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, six to seven packages for this project that we had, and I was involved in doing the postcon until final account on all these packages.
Wow, that's how grand it was, and that's how big your role was. You were able to manage and be part of the cost management aspect for the project from inception to completion.
Yeah, to completion until close out, which is the final account delivery and doing
Final account and
the
handover.
closing documentations of the project.
So for Divine, do you already have your case study in place?
I'm still working on it.
Okay, all the best to us as we work on
Yeah.
this case study of ours and be able to, experience the grand mock. So I would like to share just one more photo of Jeff that was sent here a while ago by Chair Julie. This is Jeff doing the pay it forward for PICQS as you did the, I think, train the trainers here.
I'm not sure if it's still the trainers, but
I think
I
so.
I
Yeah, that's what.
I did a lot of talks in PICQS. I think one of this one is maybe this is related to competency talks.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure
That's
if it's GAMP or maybe this is the General Assembly where we had talks regarding APC.
Yes. So that's thank you very much, Jeff. Apart from being, you're a very good mentor, and your APC
Mhm.
journey has really inspired us, myself included, on to push
Yeah.
through with it, right, Divine?
Yes.
And I think I can't wait to hear. I mean, your APC experience is exemplary, given the fact that you finished it in just a year.
Mhm.
You have enrolled in November 2014, October, was it August?
August.
August 2014, and you have already passed with flying colors come November 2015. So as we wrap up, I think I it has been a great 1 hour talking, or also hearing about your APC journey. But for our viewers, before you share your final or remarks to our viewers, I would like to comment on and say good luck on your APC journey, Divine. For Divine
Thank
only.
you, JC.
Okay. Good luck, JC, because JC here, or Jose Carlo Padilla,
Mhm.
is going to sit on his APC final interview this June. So I would like to
Wow.
welcome everybody, Ma'am Lillian, Chair Julie, everybody who wants to do a mock interview with JC Padilla. Let's
Best
get
of
it
luck.
on and let's schedule it and check on how we can, aid to his journey and be part of his journey. Yeah, thank you very much, JC, for sharing, and thank you very much for your uh, well wishes for all of us, for all the APC candidates. Ayan. So without further Anything that you would like to share, Jeff, to our APC candidates who are watching and who will be watching APC talks?
I would like to say that 10 years ago, APC may be out of reach for most Pinoy quantity surveyor all over the world. But thanks to PICQS, through its structured training and mentoring program, many Filipino quantity surveyor now have the opportunity to be a chartered RICS quantity surveyor or any other affiliates quantity surveyor around the world. I would say that the key to gaining your chartered status and sitting on a successful APC journey is to have focus and determination to do your APC. As the saying goes, it's just 1% genius and 99% hard work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Congratulations on the 1% genius. Okay, I divide
And 99% of
and
hard work.
99% hard work.
Yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity as an APC aspirant, APC candidate. Sessions such as this and the structured trainings of PICQS provides an avenue for Filipino quantity surveyors like us the opportunity to learn and hone our skills. So I'm encouraging everyone to um, get that opportunity to take advantage of that so that we can prove ourselves as professionals, as quantity surveyors, as Filipino quantity surveyors. And I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to be able to impart my knowledge, my time, everything that I have to the organization that upholds the profession quantity surveying not only in the Philippines but around the globe. And if it wasn't for PICQS, one way or the other, we're not here to talk success stories such as this. And I'm very much looking forward to reach my goal in getting my APC. And like you said in the introduction, God willing, to be able to share as well to our fellow Filipino quantity surveyors in the coming years. Thank you so
Agree.
much.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much for that, Divine. And as you know, every career path will be unique. Every project is unique for every individual. But if you are already geared towards the path of being chartered or being certified quantity surveyor, invest in yourself, gain the necessary competencies, and get certified. After all, the project requirements nowadays for QS are gearing towards this aspect. I think some of the specifications already contain the requirement of being MRICS or being a chartered professional of any professional bodies for you to be, you will have this confidence and that you will be able to carry out the works with utmost quality. And so there you have it. This is our patch fourth session, PICQS APC Talks channel live through YouTube. So thank you very much, Jeffrey, for your time. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And we hope to see you next month as we have our own next patch session with Michelle Miranda. Thank you. And God bless everyone. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Who would say you are a young professional and you may not have enough experience to go through APC? Join us in Patch with our certified and chartered quantity surveyor, Engineer Jeffrey Abana, as he shares his own APC journeys. His story awaits and will be revealed live this Saturday, 22nd May, 3 p.m. Manila time. See you!